Hello, my darlings of the Creative Genius Coaching Group. How are you doing today on this Tuesday evening in July, which is not terribly summer-esque here in Manchester? So, if you're catching me live, as always, I'd love to know that you're here. Do say hello. It's really lovely to hear you. And as always, do let me know your thoughts on what I am going to be sharing with you this evening. If you're catching this on the replay, give us a hello when you watch this too. So I wanted to come on here this evening, first of all, because it's been a while. I'm kind of got out of the habit of doing these weekly lives, which I absolutely adore. And I want to get back into doing these again. And also, something dropped into me earlier, which has been very present for me over the last few months, particularly, and seems to be veering the direction of how I am living and how I'm making my own life in a very different way to how it's done. Oh, I don't know, the previous 50 years prior. So I wanted to speak to you about this just a little bit more. Maybe there's something inspirational you can take from this. Maybe there's something that comes up for you, which I'd love to hear. And as always, if you think you know of anybody who might be interested to hear this, then let them know, invite them to the group, or let me know, and I will forward this video to you. So the thing I posted earlier, if I can remember exactly, was about how we get very telescope vision on what it is that we want. Okay, now for some of us, maybe that's shitloads of cash in the bank. Maybe it's living in a certain place. Maybe it's having success in our endeavors, or business, or creative practice, whatever it is that we're doing. Maybe for some of us, we want a sense of notoriety or to fame or to be known as an expert in our field. We might want to have certain opportunities in our life. We might have this really strong sense of what it is that we're heading towards, why we're showing up every day, why we're putting the work in. But what can happen is that we end up simply focusing on that and missing out the whole journey. It's no coincidence, as is the case with a lot of these things, that old cliche of it's not the destination, it's the journey. It's fucking true. Okay? It is absolutely the case. The thing is, we live in a society that is so, you could say, kind of illuminates and rewards and acknowledges those that have achieved these particular things. Okay? They're the people that get applauded. They're the people that get written about. They're the people that you hear about. And it's very easy then for us, if we're not there yet, wherever there is, to feel like we're falling behind, we've missed out, it's too late, we're not good enough, there's no reason to carry on, why bother, what's the point? And compare ourselves, that's a huge one, maybe to get jealous as well. Pick your poison, as they say. And it can really dispirit us on our own path. And also, conversely, it can dispirit us and make us even more hustling and more striving and more effort to gain and achieve that particular goal. Now, there is nothing wrong with having our dream, our desire, our goals, a particular destination, somewhere we want to be, and to have that there. Okay? In fact, this is part of what makes us human. However, when that becomes so on focus that everything, all of our resources, our time, our energy, our attention, our abilities, our skills, is just simply focused on that, we will get to a certain point in our life. Either when we get there, we'll realize this, or when we get to the end of our life, if we haven't got the thing we want, at some point over the years, over time passing, we'll get to a point where we realize, hold on a second, maybe I've missed my own life. Shit. Maybe I was so focused or concentrating on work or on making this happen or on making money that I didn't actually enjoy it. It's really interesting. I've heard this a few times. I think it was, well, this is a bit of a controversial name to bring up at the moment. There's stuff that's just come up all over the place over the past week around this particular person. But I remember it was an advice that Neil Gaiman gave in his incredible commencement speech a few years ago, that he wished that he'd enjoyed the journey to where he got to more. I was listening to, just last night, an interview with, it's a great podcast called Diary of a CEO with, I can't remember the guy's name, Daniel somebody, I think, might not be Daniel. Anyway, really great host of this. And he was interviewing Rebel Wilson. It's like a 2 hour, I think it's like 2 hour long podcast. And I love her. I love her from Pitch Perfect mainly. And I Am Pretty, I think it is. I Feel Pretty or something. Really fun. I think she's a great comedic actress. And she was talking about, and they both were really, about this intense internal drive that they both have. And they were having a discussion about, well, where is that coming from? Is that something you're still trying to prove to your parents, your father? Is that part of you that thinks like, if you don't do that, you'll just have no sense of who you are even in the world? And there was also, I haven't watched this, but I saw something about John Bon Jovi. And he too was saying, I wish I'd enjoyed it more. It's really interesting. You know, we can look at certain people and go, wow, they have this level of success. They must have this incredible life. How lucky they are. And yet hearing from these people kind of afterwards, over time, going, I wasn't actually present for my life itself. I was so focused on this that everything else just wasn't even around. And that impacts, you know, their family, maybe having children, maybe relationships. And I'm not saying that not to go for these things, okay? But it's how we do so in the first place that I feel needs to pivot, so that we're still going for whatever it is, which is great. Don't change that if that's really strong for you. But it's just letting ourselves pivot slightly and just see what else is around us. If we are completely aligned to what our vision is, what our goal is, what our dream is, it is so aligned that it just is. We just know with every single cell of our body that this is what I'm meant to be doing. This is where I'm meant to be going. This is what I'm meant to have in my life. If it is so clear in us, then there is no doubt that this is our path. This is who we are becoming. It's the direction that we're heading in, and we will get that. We will meet that place at some point. But the thing is about getting there and having these destination places is that when we do, they're a little bit illusionary, you know, because often we think when we get this, when we get X, then I will feel Y. Okay? When I have A, then my life will be B, for instance. So my question to you is, there's obviously a sense then that your life is lacking that aspect or that feeling or that generosity or that happiness or that satisfaction or fulfillment now. Yeah, where you are in this moment now. And that there's a sense that you can only feel that certain way when you have that thing that's out there in the future. It looks perfect because obviously all our dreams look perfect in our head. And actually, once we get that thing, or we have that, whatever that is, we realize it's a little bit like it turns to sand through our fingers. It doesn't might give us a momentary kick. It might provide things and opportunities for us that we wouldn't have had otherwise, of course. But it doesn't fill us from the inside out. Okay? It's the kind of fix perhaps for a while, and then we might start scrambling around for the next big destination, the next big goal, the next path to go on, and off we go again, everything focused in that particular direction. It's very narrow. It creates a very narrow place of living from. And we don't want that, do we? Don't we want a life that is just pure generosity? A life that is filling, fulfilling, a life that feels that we go to bed in the evening satisfied, a life that we feel a deep sense of peace and harmony, a life where we're able to enjoy every moment, enjoy the people around us, explore, be curious, make connections, laugh, swear if you want to, share sweet moments of intimacy, look up out at the sky and be really touched by a sunset. That was me last night. You know, literally to stop and smell the roses, yeah, which don't last. They last a certain amount of time and then they're gone. But if we, as Ferris Bueller once said, showing my age here, if we don't stop and look around once in a while, we're going to miss it. Yeah, we're going to miss our own life. I don't want for you to miss your own life. So what can support us with this? This is what I want to touch upon here. And I'd really be interested to know from you any thoughts on that. Is there any truth in that for you? Have you been so driven, so motivated, so ambitious? Maybe you still are, or maybe you recognize that in yourself, or you know those around you have that particular trait. And how has that felt? How has that been for you? What has that actually given to you? And has it felt like a joyful, easeful, beautiful, pleasurable path to be on? Okay, so I'd be curious about that. So, what can support us as we keep pursuing and keep working towards that which we would like? Yeah, whatever that is. Money, success, fame, professional mastery, and so on and so on. The very first thing is to have a clear sense of what your vision is. Even as I say that word, oh, I can feel how much that feels alive in me and makes my body move. Just feels nice. It's got a little bit of that erotic energy in it, that pleasure, that purring, that turn on. Our vision is encompassing the whole. Yeah, it's expansive vision. You know, if you think about the word vision, it's it's looking up and outwards. We think about visionaries. They're able to see something beyond and bigger that has elements of mystery in it, magic in it. When we have a sense of our vision, it will hold, it will contain that which we are aiming for and working towards, but it's also full of all sorts of other things as well. Yeah, it's almost like it takes that thing and is going to gift wrap it for you. It's going to gift wrap it in the most beautiful tissue paper. It's going to gift wrap that then into the most incredible box, and then tie that with ribbons and curl the ends of those ribbons and maybe place that on I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just going, place it on a little rowboat out in the middle of incredible lake. Let's go with Switzerland. And then maybe there's violinists playing at the side of the lake and you're being rowed with the most beautiful, handsome person, and there's all flowers around you and the birds are singing and you can smell sweet blossoms in the air. This is honestly turning me on right now. Maybe this is what I need in my life. You get a little bit of sunshine on your skin, and this is maybe a really bottle of the most gorgeous wine, and you're tasting sweet delights, and so on and so on. It's everything. It encompasses the whole sensory field of what is available. It also encompasses others around you. You know, it holds the essence of the impact of this vision. It has a deeper meaning than just the very narrow telescoped desire for this particular thing. It holds the feeling of this in a bigger, more expansive sense. It holds a sense of how it will be, not just in that moment, but how life will be. Yeah, how your relationships will be, how you'll be more in service in whatever ways that is. And it's much more playful and spacious and softer and dynamic and alive and full of all sorts of possibilities that you can't even necessarily see as you've expanded this vision. Vision. What's your vision? Do you know what the vision is that you have for your life? Have you ever sat and thought about that? What is the vision? What am I working towards? Yeah, what is that in service to? Yeah, because what you're working towards is in service to the vision that you have. The choices, the decisions you make every single day are in service to that bigger vision. And because it's bigger, when we get challenged, when we get stuck, when we feel disappointed, when we feel sad, when we have rejections, when things don't work properly, when we fail, when we fall down, make mistakes, all of the things that are going to happen along the way, they don't completely destroy us, because we know it's part of something bigger. It's not the end game in itself, it's part of something bigger. And if we believe so strongly in this vision that we hold, the meaning for that resonates in every single part of us, then we're able to go, okay, I'll just tend to my heart, maybe feeling a bit tender, and I will come back to what else is possible, what else is a part of this big vision that I can take those action steps towards. What else might need to be done? What might need to be shifted slightly? Where might I need to pivot my focus? It also, this is very interesting, makes it a more enjoyable journey. Because if we're just simply focusing on what it is that we need to get that now, then it's a little bit like, and I've spoken of this before, like, well, that's where all our focus is, that's where our attention is, that's what we're looking at all the time. And nothing grows, nothing can flourish, nothing can have a possibility to evolve in a very relaxed way if we're just staring at it the whole time and going, grow, why are you not working? And it's interesting, it's like we can take our attention away from that. Say it's making a certain amount of money, and we've been doing that the whole time, focusing, how I'm going to do this, going to do that, I'm going to, everything's geared towards that. We're just it's all we can see. We actually block a lot of life's mystery, a lot of surprises, a lot of the synchronicities that can happen. We just don't notice them going on around us. And it's also quite exhausting just being so directly focusing on this particular thing the whole time. And it's a very scarcity way to live. It's a very fearful way to live. It's a very anxious way to live. And it's certainly not a trusting way to live. Yet when we turn away from that and go, well, okay, in this vision of this life, there's this aspect as well, and I'll be enjoying that, and I'll be feeling like this. When we start to turn towards beginning to embody how we can already live in this way, what we can be spending our time doing. When I'm like this, I'll be reading more, so start reading more. When I'm like this, I'll be wearing beautiful outfits every day, so start wearing beautiful outfits every day. Start to create that vision in the ways that you can right now. So you just turn away from what you've been like obsessing over to try and make that work, and instead you're literally turning towards life. And this is where the what I'm calling the invisible proof comes into this, is because when we're just really focused and really like that on something, we are kind of watching it all the time to watch it grow even the tiniest little bit amount. Where's the outcome? Okay, I've done this. Why is this not happened straight away? Why is that not working? We will say nothing's happening. We will say as if we know the mysteries of how life works. What we start to do when we live more in the vision is that we begin to adopt the trust in the invisible proof. It's what I call the invisible proof. The trust in the knowing that the action I've taken, the work I've done there is going to pay off. It's going to bring its dividends. It's going to offer its proof. It's going to show itself. The results are going to come in. But when that is the case, it's not up to us. We have to let go of that. We have to let go of needing that proof in actuality right now. That's our way of wanting things to be done. It's certainly not life's way of doing things. We have no idea when we are just steadily doing the work, steadily focusing, keep putting ourselves out there, keep investing our energy, our time, our resources, our money, our focus, and so on. We do not know the point when all of what's growing underneath the surface of visibility suddenly will shoot up. We hear of overnight successes. Bullshit. There are no overnight successes. There is years and years of crafting, invisibility, things not working, wondering why the hell we're carrying on with this particular dream, until one day all of that work, all of that tilling the soil, the land, pays off in dividends. It can't not. But when that will be the case is not up to us. All we can do is keep tending to, doing what we can, and enjoying life as it's happening, so we're not missing those moments. And we may discover that if we start to turn towards that, we may discover there is a deep dissatisfaction in our life right now. We might feel an emptiness in our life. We might need to turn towards that very gently and with kind curiosity and a deep sense of compassion for ourselves and go, okay, this is what I need to tend to. If I'm feeling lonely, I need to tend to my connections and relationships. If I'm feeling like I don't know what else to do with myself, if I'm not just putting all my time and energy into this particular work, maybe I need to explore what else I can do. Maybe think back to what did I used to enjoy back before I got so caught in this. What can I try out even if I'm not sure anymore? Bring curiosity along. Make yourself fuller as you're building your empire, your business, your offerings, your art, whatever it might be. But holding that vision, what we start to do then is something that the coach that I did my training with, Eric Maisel, talks about a lot, is that we begin to create meaning. He says that we are meaning-making creatures. And some of us, particularly the artists, the sensitives, we are born with this need to make meaning from our life. Not everyone has that. And that might be through your work. It might be through your projects. It might be through your ambitions. That's fine. But they're the big golf balls. What about the rest of the time? What about the ordinary days? What about your days off? What about when you're hanging out with your family? What about when, you're in between projects or you finish work? Those moments make up, if you like, the sand between these big golf balls of the bigger meaning moments of our life. How present can we be to those? What is our relationship to those what might seem ordinary or boring, or I'm not achieving anything in those moments? It's quiet. Maybe I'm not being seen right now. And again, there might be some work there to tend to bringing ourselves back into those places, listening, feeling the ache there, maybe the emptiness, the scarcity that might live there. And the other thing is that when we start to live more from this place of vision, this bigger place, which is a very aligned place, we're aligned with what matters to us. We live our values more. It's all of this richness of treasures in there, not just this one thing that we think we're going to feel that when we get to this particular place. But what happens is we start to just Trust in what I call the stretch, which is the place between where you are now, who you are now, and who you are becoming. Because actually, this is where we are always living. And as I say that, I feel a lot of energy up through my spine, around my solar plexus as I'm sharing that with you, and down through my arms. Got goosebumps here. It is the place that we live in, this stretch, and it's the place where anything can happen. It's crackling alive with electricity. It's full of magic. It's the place where we can mold the formless into manifestation. The space between. You might even feel, whoops. You might even feel that. Sorry about that. Drop my mic. You might even feel that place between the breaths, like as you breathe out, before you breathe in, there is that space, this opening. Everything arises from this space, a magical void. We can listen more into that, make time for that place, stretch ourselves in this. And as we do so, we start to, instead of trying to make a living, we start to make a life, all of it. Yeah, and we include all of the aspects of who we are. We start to live on purpose, purposefully, making meaning, following what matters to us. And this is fullness. Yeah, whether we get that thing or not, it doesn't matter. This is the story of your life. There's no story otherwise. If you just work, you get to this. What is that? How is that even attractive? It's just not really attractive, is it? This is much more fun. So, my darlings, how is this landing? What are you feeling from this? What thoughts are arising? How might it be if you took your focus away from that thing which you keep trying, all this effort, and you turned it a little towards the rest of life, towards the wholeness of the vision that you have, who you are in this vision? Who are you becoming? I am the one who lives expansively. I am the one who slows down to smell the roses. I am the one who believes so much in my magic that I know that whatever I create will thrive and grow in the way that it's meant to, just like a garden. I am the one that is successful in whatever I turn my attention to. We can hold all of this in that space, feel it, feel the truth, embody your words, and then go out there and live that. Live it. Make your choices every day from the one who. Who are you? Who are you becoming? What does that look like, feel like? How do you move? How do you dress? What do you eat? Feel that, shape shift yourself in this space. Play out with different aspects of who you are becoming. Because we are natural shapeshifters. This is part of who we are when we let go of being so fixed and so rigid. We can shapeshift from one becoming to another becoming to another becoming, simply because maybe they all fit in the expansiveness of the vision of who you are. You're not just one thing, you're all of it. Take the pedal, your foot off the pedal from that thing. Still show up, still do your work, still be disciplined, committed, consistent, of course. 100% that is needed. Do what you need to do, let go of the outcome, and turn towards life's generosity and how it is to live as the one you're becoming. So, love to know your thoughts on this, how this sits with you. Is it exciting? Do you know what your vision is for your life? Do you have a sense? Do you know what matters to you? Do you have a sense of meaning? Do you feel aligned just simply with that and letting that be that which literally takes you forward. You don't really even have to do anything with that. You're magnetically drawn to all of that because it's who you are. Let me know. I have the Alignment Keys program. Okay, second year of running this. I only run this once a year. It is the first program in the alignment pole in the Creative Genius map. This one is magic. This is the program where you get super clear on your vision, your why. This could be for your bigger sense of life. It could be for your business. It could be for your creativity. It could be for projects. It could be for collaborations. It could be how you want to move forwards in the world. We work with getting super clear with that, going very, very deep, and we do it in a very somatic and embodied way. Nervous system stuff is so vital to all this work. This is about looking at what you value and really trying this on, and we really literally try these words on and work with them energetically to find and tweak. Sometimes we think it's that particular value, but it just needs a tweak slightly. It's a slightly different word, slightly different meaning, and that fits us to a T. You're going to get very clear on your desires and your needs. Very, very clear, very honest with yourself. You're also going to look at where you betray your own alignment, where you allow yourself to go into misalignment and why you do that. You're going to get the tools to understand when you're in misalignment and be able to bring yourself back. When you are live in alignment with who you are and who you are becoming, it is this freedom. It's freedom. Everything that I'm offering is about freedom. So I have an offer on about the Alignment Keys. It starts on the 24th of July. It's the only time this is going to be running this year. It's a live program. I have an offer on at the moment. You get a third off. And for anyone that books this program, that enrolls on this program, at the moment, will also go in a draw to win some one-to-one live coaching with me. So there's a lot at stake here. It's also, at this moment in time, is a third off the price. It's only 222 instead of 333. That's going to be for another week. So any questions, let me know. I will drop the information about the Alignment Keys below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. I want to know if you can feel that vision. Have a sense of it, a taste of it. Use all your senses as you do so. What arises for you? Whether you're really making meaning out of the ordinary in your life. How it might be to trust that invisible proof, or whether that's really challenging for you. So do let me know in the comments below. As ever, I'm deeply grateful for your presence, your attention, the time you've given to this, and I'm sending you so much love.